Welcome everyone to Ready Steady Flash. I noticed that we have some youngsters in the audience, so we will probably not be doing R-rated stories this time. Could you not hear?
How about X?
You didn't say no X.
I didn't say no X. Okay.
It doesn't work.
I'm sorry?
It doesn't work. We can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Okay, hang on, I'll try a different mic.
Oh, that mic is working.
Is it? Okay, is that any better?
Yes.
Okay, it was me. My mouth wasn't working. Okay, so welcome to Ready Steady Flash. This is a game that I've taken to a few conventions after pitching the idea from somebody else, and every time I've done this show, Paul has been one of the panelists, one of the willing victims, and last time I think he won a point, didn't he?
Yes. I'm hoping to win a point again this time.
My plan is to crash and burn, but with style.
I think we're probably going to go through probably 3 rounds we'll get through this time around. Now the idea of the game is that we have 4 professional, 5 professional, actually 4 professional, 1 unprofessional, but I'm not saying which is which.
I'm sorry.
So we have 5 professional authors with us, and they're going to write you a story each. But they don't know what the story is about yet. I'm going to give them a theme, or a phrase, or a word, or just a wink of the eye, and they're going to write you.
I thought you said no R-rated stories. Like, can we get a clear validation here?
Don't give him any validation.
And then they're going to write you a short story. They have 5 minutes in which to write a story that has a proper beginning, middle, and end. It needs to be a complete story, it needs to be on theme, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. At the end, each of our victims will read out the story that they've read, and you will judge which is the best story. And in each of the 3 rounds, the winner will get 2 points, and in second place, they will get 1 point. So that gives Paul a bit more of a chance to equal his previous record. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit more about the stories shortly, and I'll give you an example of one that we've had previously. But as I'm doing that, I think we should just kick off and give the authors their first subject. And just get the timing up on this device here. So, authors, you have 5 minutes. And I'll give you a 1-minute warning when you're nearing the end. You have 5 minutes to write a story on the theme reanimation, starting now.
Does it have to be an original story?
Does it have to be? Okay, well, it doesn't have to be an original story, no. It could be the sort of story that you usually write, yeah. So,
Is there a way to turn the board up? Because none of us over here can hear you at all.
okay, I'll try to. Is that any better over there?
That's better, but talk slowly. If anybody knows how to run the board and can turn the speaker up, shout.
Okay, I will talk louder. We'll see if that works. Okay, so I did this in North Wales a few years ago, and one of the subjects that came up as a story for our authors to write was unicorn sandwich. And this was actually a very popular subject, and the winner was an urban fantasy writer called Stacia Kane. You may well know her. And just to give you an idea of the sort of level of quality that you're probably not going to see this afternoon, this was Unicorn Sandwich by Stacia Kane. Fantasy creatures through the wildest parties. In the corner stood a couple of centaurs comparing muscles. Over by the bar, she noticed a gaggle of elves looking down their noses at everyone and being snide whenever someone tried to speak to them. But she had her eye on the unicorns, their shimmering manes, their strong bodies. They looked like they could show a girl a good time. And she'd had just enough beer at that point to feel brave enough to go over and talk to them. Hey, if it was good enough for Catherine the Great. Well, it really wasn't, but it was in legend, and that was enough for her. She picked the most likely looking two and wandered over to them, making sure to swing her hips and stick out her chest so they know exactly what she was after. She felt their dark gazes as she crossed the room. "Hey," she said. Probably not in such a gruff voice. "Hey," she said, when she got close enough to reach out and touch them. "I'm kind of hungry." Their eyebrows, unicorns have eyebrows, they do, rose. "Oh," one of them responded. "What would you like to eat then?" She grinned. "A sandwich. I'd like a unicorn sandwich, please." "We can definitely do that," said the taller of the two. And the three of them left together. She was definitely going to be full tonight. Yeah. So our panelists can choose to write a short story, they can choose to write a poem. We've had poems on this show before, and some of them have been very, very good, and some of them have been written by Paul Cornell. But
Don't let him get in your head, Paul. Just keep working.
he shouldn't even be listening, he should be concentrating. Concentrate, Paul. That's not how you spell felching, it's just one L. Okay, so, I have no idea, it's just something I saw I'm not going to. Okay, so what we're going to be doing, I have a few subjects that we'll be using for stories later, but one of the other things that we'll be doing is we'll be getting somebody in the audience to choose a subject as well for one of our later rounds. And that was a dirty laugh. You're in the right place. Okay, contestants, you have 1 minute remaining. 1 minute, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm just very looking to see what people are doing. You're going to be reading your own. I think it's probably worth introducing everybody as well, which is something we didn't do at the beginning. But we'll probably do that after they've read out their stories, because they only have 30 seconds remaining. What was that? Okay, put down your pens, hands off keyboards. Let's see what you come up with. Okay, so our first round had the theme reanimation. Melissa.
Present.
Would you like to begin?
Not really.
Then hard luck.
Okay.
I'm not talking.
All right. Can you hear me now?
No.
Sorry, stage right. How about now?
Yes.
Better.
Better. Okay. I'm gonna be a little loud. Sorry, stage left.
Does that help?
What?
I just turned up the volume on.
How's that now?
Yeah.
Check, check. Test. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Reanimation. The squirrel would have his revenge. This was, of course, his only thought, as he limped with 2 legs and no tail back around the side of the house, while circling his old enemy, the fence. His death had been neither quick nor clean, and a trail of rust-colored flat grass lay behind him. The chain-link fence seemed longer than ever, but the squirrel didn't mind. He was looking too far forward to biting the hound, right on his hound nose. Tossing him over the fence would, in the end, only strengthen him for the fight ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Melissa. Mr. Kenneman.
Alrighty, everybody got this? There once was a dragon named Fred, who devoured a unicorn undead. Each bit that he ate, he did munch and masticate, until he finished the undying spread. Then when he finished, he felt diminished, until the unicorn reborn came forth from the dragon's own horn. Unicorn returned from beyond and within.
Come on, Paul, you can do it.
Don't patronise me.
You can.
Walt Disney sat up and looked around. I should leave it at that. Where was he? He realised after a moment that he was surrounded by people, and those people must be doctors. I remember, he said, I remember. He was about to say dying, but he didn't, not really. Okay, this is excellent. Unless, are you the devil? No, sir, I work for you. We had enough tissue, we brought you back. That's a denial of my reward, but I am not complaining. But why? Why did you do this? We want to keep it being a wonderful world, said the doctors. If we're going to call ourselves Disney, I'm afraid it's a question of copyright.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, Paul was looking over my shoulder.
Good thing he went first then.
Vice versa.
Her breath whistles through the crystals in her throat, eyes glazed with ice. She bites, strains, heaves for each breath, every muscle tense against the frost, every bone straining, threatening to snap against the chill. Her chest heaves, and she coughs, a spittle of blood showering against her teeth. And with one last try, her heart bursts, and her eyes go as cold as her body. The tech standing over her winces. Another failure.
Harry Patel.
It came in the mail, a little package, something the neighbors hopefully wouldn't have noticed. As if to spite me, the mailman had laid it proudly on top of my doormat. I remembered searching for it, my hands sweating onto the keyboard as I clacked my queries into the search engine. I must have opened and closed the purchase page half a dozen times, feeling someone watching over my shoulder. But it was here. I opened the package. I popped the pill into my mouth and swallowed. I heard her in the next room. Phil, is it working yet? And then I felt it. Something stirring. Reanimation. I'm the only person who went there, though.
Okay, well now's the time for you to decide which is the best of those stories. So we're going to start over at this end. And we just want you to shout and cheer and clap. And the louder you shout and cheer and clap, the more likely it is that they'll get a point. So first of all for Carrie Patel. That's a decent start, I think. And Cargill's story of reanimation failure. Home turf advantage there.
I'm from Texas.
It's all the same to us Brits. Paul and his Disney tale.
Okay. Thank you for your pity.
Kelly's unicorn limerick. And Melissa's tale of the squirrel. I think we have a clear winner there. Mr. Paul Cornell has 2 points.
I've just doubled my lifetime's treble my lifetime's.
I think second place seemed to be a bit of a tie between Cargill and Carrie. So we're going to vote on these two again for the second place position. First of all, Carrie Patel. And secondly,
Give her the point. Hers was better.
1 point to Carrie Patel. So now comes the now comes the point where we should have really done this at the beginning and introduced each of our contestants. So let's start at this end and just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, favorite colour.
My name is Melissa Olson. My favorite color is green. I write urban fantasy novels, and I'm a little hungover.
I'm Kelly McCullough. Mostly what I write is novel length, as you can tell by my limericks.
What's your favorite color?
Yeah, like, come on, one job.
It's black! Are there other colors?
I'm Paul Cornell. I write books, comics, and television. And my favourite colour, I think, is it blue? I think it's blue.
No, yellow! My name is C. Robert Cargill. I'm the screenwriter of the film Sinister, Sinister 2, Deus Ex. Someone's heard of me. I'm also a novelist. I published 2 books, and I was a film critic for 10 years.
My name is Carrie Patel. Oh, favorite.
Ultraviolet? Because it's not just violet, it's ultra.
My name is Carrie Patel, and I'm also a novelist. My first 2 novels, The Buried Life and Cities and Thrones, are out. Actually, Cities and Thrones is not out till Tuesday, but you can pick up a copy at the Dreamhaven booth upstairs, this stairs. I also write for video games. I'm a narrative designer at Obsidian Entertainment, and my favorite color is red, and I'm delighted to be here.
Okay, rather than, can you hear me okay if I talk at this one in the back?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, we should just turn the volume up on me.
Is there a switch for that?
No, there isn't. You can try finding it, it's not to the right. Okay. Our contestants' second theme will be, ladies and gentlemen, you have 5 minutes in which to write a story on a steampunk romance. Has begun. Okay, so while they're doing that, we're going to work out who it is that's going to decide our third theme for them. And we'll do that by having a little bit of a quiz. Ooh, yes indeed, ooh, very exciting. This is when it gets really exciting. As there are 3 sections of the audience, we will split you into those 3 teams. So we'll call this Team 1, we'll call this Team B, and we'll call this Team Alpha. Okay. Thank you. Right, so, very, very simple. I will shout out a question, and the first person to shout out the correct answer will win a point to their team. Now, very often, people shout out the answers at the same time, in which case, I'll just pretend I heard somebody say it earlier. So, we're going to start, we've got plenty of time here. These are not difficult questions, because I had to write them. Question number 1. 1 being Alpha. Question 1. Who is the current writer on Marvel's Daredevil comic?
Mark Waid.
Where did that come from? Mark Waid is the correct answer. That's 1 point to Team B. Question number 2. Which Convergence Guest of Honor was nominated for a Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Art Direction for his work on Rose Red? Just throw out Guest of Honor.
Chad Fry.
Chad Fry is the correct answer. Point for Team 1.
We're number 1. We're number 1.
USA.
Okay, number 3. In Buffy the Vampire Slayer, who played Buffy's Watcher? Merrick.
Oh, God.
No.
Donald Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland is the correct answer. Team Alpha. Talking the Buffy movie.
That's why I was like,
Question number 4. In fast shape, what was the name of Crichton's gun?
Winona.
Winona. Just beat you to it on this side. Team Alpha. Oh yeah. That's it. Okay, question number 5. What or who do these TV series have in common? Twin Peaks, How I Met Your Mother, Chuck, and Reaper.
They're all canceled.
That wasn't the answer I was looking for, but it's correct, and nobody else got it. What's that?
Alan McLaughlin.
It was Ray Wise. So we're going to give a point to team. Question number 6. Really, really hard question. Please think about this one very, very carefully. Name the screenwriter of Sinister.
That is incorrect.
C. Robert Cardinal and Scott Derrickson.
That is correct. I would be co-writer.
So a point there to Jessica Cargill. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have 1 minute left. Question number 7. In Agent Carter,
That's not fair to the Brits.
who played Edwin Jarvis?
Paul Bentley. No, Bentley.
James Darcy.
James Darcy is the correct answer. Okay, another who played one. In HBO's Game of Thrones, who played Jon Snow?
Kitty Anderson.
Yep. 30 seconds left. Question number 9. Danielle Panabaker plays Caitlin Snow in TV's The Flash. In what movie did she play the superhero student Layla?
Sky High.
Sue, Sky High is the correct answer. Ladies and gentlemen, please put down your pens, leave your keyboards around. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, we'll come to the scores shortly. I think we'll start this time with, well, let's start with Cargill. You want to listen to your steampunk romance.
The airship glides silently through the clouds, only the whump, whump, whump of the blades whispering out into the moon-drenched night. The captain dons his tiny hat and his best double-breasted coat, slipping a single rose into the lapel. He smiles, seeing the gaslights glimmer through the chimney smoke of the distant skyline. She's waiting there. At least he hopes she is.
Harry.
It started as a rumbling, something distant but growing nearer. The ground shook. A whistle split the air, high and hot. Puffs of air like heavy breaths scattered across the horizon. The movement became a deep moan of metal, gears nibbling across each other with tiny, sturdy teeth. Pistons roar, thrusting back and forth across axles and cogwork. The train rolled over the tracks and passed by.
Melissa.
Oh, presents.
I'm awake.
I'm mostly awake. Okay. I don't know anything about steampunk, you guys. All right, the monocle lived alone. His only contact with the world, really, was the ringed metal line attached to his side, which led up to he knew not where. He was never taken out. He sat in the cloth oubliette in the dark space, waiting for the day when the voice would say the word of magic. Convention. One day, though, something happened. Something new. Instead of the chain pulling him out, something else was dropped in. This had never happened before. The monocle looked over the new edition and saw something of such beauty that he shivered, his chain rattling in the cloth oubliette. He saw himself.
Is that exactly what you were?
I didn't finish the last sentence, but you didn't say we had to read the exact words on it.
Lawyered.
How silly to assume that the 5 minutes that you had would be the only 5 minutes that you would get. I don't. Okay.
You don't have to explain the rules, man. I'm not involved.
Yeah, you know I'm the one that gives out points. Don't you?
Hey, has anyone ever gotten negative points before?
Not so far. Kevin.
A steampunk romance. All those fancy gears and wheels, leather and lace clothes at a fabulous pace, bronze and brass, I'll take a pass. The real romance of steam comes from the mirror. I'm too pretty for anything that must my polish. I'll keep my romance in the box with my goggles that only look inward.
John Lydon hauled Sid out of the sauna. I think you've had enough, he said. You're looking like a lobster and your hair has gone floppy. Snorf, replied Sid. He pushed Johnny aside, marched back in, slammed the door and locked it. If you keep doing that, whispered Johnny, you'll hurt yourself and nobody will care. But there was no one to hear, and somebody did.
That was surprisingly successful. It's actually quite a hard thing to do, to come up with a coherent story in just 5 minutes, as you've heard. So let's do some voting then. We'll start off with Mr. Cargill. Harry Patel. Cargill's in the lead so far. Melissa Olsen. Kelly McCullough. And Paul Cornell. Yeah, I thought Paul wasn't going to be with a shot there, but that middle section there just actually, I think that went to Cargill. With another point to Mr. Paul Cornell. Okay. I'm going to give them another theme, and then while they're doing that, we'll find out who won that section of the quiz, and we'll get that team to come up with a fourth theme. So I think we have time for that. So the theme that I would like the 5 of you to write on now, you have 5 minutes to write a short story about the little people. 5 minutes to start. Okay, so the quiz, it wasn't even close. Joint second place, Team Alpha with 2 points. In joint second place, Team B with 2 points. I'm not going to tell you who won. Just have a little bit of suspense there for a moment. Team 1 with 5 points. Team 1, I want a few suggestions as to what the fourth theme is going to be once our panelists have finished writing this. So just, if you have an idea, put your hand in the air. Gentleman with a beard.
Purple monkey dishwasher. Purple monkey dishwasher.
Purple monkey dishwasher. That is really, really cruel. I like it. Any other suggestions?
Uncle Sam's day off.
Uncle Sam's day off. Okay. And let's just take one more.
Convergence.
Convergence. Okay. So we have Purple Monkey Dishwasher, Uncle Sam's day off, and let's have a vote on it for everybody in the room. Who thinks we should have Purple Monkey Dishwasher? Uncle Sam's day off? Convergence. That was Uncle Sam's day off. So we'll have another mini quiz, and I'll tell you why at the end. So we're going to again have Team 1, Team B, Team Alpha. Who? That's a really, really easy one to start. Who provided the voice of Darth Vader in the original? Team B. I was going to say in the original trilogy, but of course there was only one trilogy. The #1 best-selling genre novel of the 20th century has been filmed twice. What is it?
Dune?
Dune. The Bible, someone said. Oh. Oh, okay, you get an extra point for the Bible. In Star Wars, the Empire relied a lot on TIE fighters. What does the TIE stand for? I'm going to give that to Team Alpha.
Thank you.
It's only because I'm feeling sorry for you.
Me too.
Number Alpha. Before coming to New York in the 1933 film King Kong, where had King Kong lived? Scotland. Team 1. Okay. A little bit of classic British science fiction. What was the name of Blake Seven's first ship?
The Liberator.
Okay, that was Team B.
Number B.
Who played the man who fell to Earth?
David Bowie.
Team B again. Who hosts Vilification Tennis?
Also David
Close
Bowie.
one. Okay, that was too close to call, so I'm not going to give anybody a point. Smart game. You have 1 minute left. In Doctor Who, which actor was the 6th to play the Doctor?
Colin Baker.
Team B, Colin Baker. And let's have a look. What would you buy in the Little Shop of Horrors?
Audrey 2.
Lance. Okay. Check flowers and what plants will do. 20 seconds left. Easy one. What is Soylent Green? Oh, right, we'll give a little people. We'll give a point to everybody. Everybody has a point. Okay, and the last question, and that's it. Put down your pens, hands on keyboards. The very last question. In Star Trek VI, The Voyage Home, we encounter transparent aluminum. What do the British call
Aluminium.
Team 1. Aluminium. Okay.
It was Star Trek 4.
So, right then. So we have. We'll come back to the story in a moment. Team, we have. That's fine. I said have to.
We block the doors, you're boned.
Could go to the bar. Okay, let's listen to your stories on the little people. This time we will start with Carrie at the end, please.
The little people had never much cared for the term. Little connoted things like diminutive and lesser, and as they all knew, they were none of those things. There was just as much to them as there was to anyone else. It was just concentrated. The lobbyists told them that they were wasting their time. There was no controversy, nothing to change, so why spend the money? But the lobbyists were lawyers, and so when they saw money on the table, they took it. They had that much in common with their clients. So CNN viewers scratched their heads at the coverage and the sight of all these green-clad men and women marching across the floor of the Senate, stepping up on really big podiums so that their voices could be heard. At least it was something the Democrats and Republicans could agree on. And with a slew of signatures and a handful of votes, they founded the Green Party.
Come along this way, Cargill.
The red cap howls through the dark, his shrill twitter shrieking through the rot and stink of his teeth. His clawed hands grip his rusted iron pike, knuckles white, metal boots pounding through the slop and mud. The recent rains had chased the sun away, so he hunted only by sound. He listened for the thumps in the hills, the sick schlick of tennis shoes pulling weakly out of the muck. The footsteps were growing weaker, the pace slower, the distant panting more and more pained with each step. The red cap would soon be upon him, and his cap would be slick with his blood.
Paul.
My head contains many people. The ones who turn the eyes, in their overalls and gloves and with their lotion sprays. The ones who sit in the ears, sighing. The ones sentenced to the nose. On Rebellion Day, they will fight, the invaders and each other. They fought before against illness and doubt, but Rebellion Day will be different. On that day, they'll fight and finally surrender, and the place will be empty for new occupation.
The little people that live in my head write all the stories that fall out of my fingers. Tragically, they work best in the hours of the night when sleeping is on my list. So when dreaming is my agenda, I too often find myself staring at the ceiling and wishing the little people in my head were diurnal rather than nocturnal in their focus and feelings. As a writer, my insomnia is my bread and butter. I cannot ask the little people to let me sleep, most of the time.
The children were noisy one too many times. None wished ill of the kids, not really, but the brownies had work to do, and the kids stayed up so late, playing and laughing, pulling their parents in and out of bed, that none of the brownies could concentrate. Their leader would sigh and stomp and gnash his teeth in frustration. Sorry. I totally spaced on my own words I was reading. In frustration, much in his way like the children's own father. It seemed nothing was to be done, until at last, the littlest brownie had an idea of his own. He let the children see him.
Let's do the scoring of the stories first. Melissa Olsen. Kelly McCullough. Paul Cornell. Cargill. Harry Patel. I think that's an emphatic win for Carrie. And second place, it's too close to call on second place, so I'm going to do all these four again, very quickly. Melissa. Point for Kelly. Okay, so the scoring of the quiz in that last round, we had where is it? I wrote it down here somewhere. There it is. So Team Alpha with 2 points, Team 1 with 2 points, and Team B with 7 points. Already have our theme for the fourth and final story, but as you just won that round, I think we should add something to it as well. So, I'm going to look for a word or phrase of no more than 3 words that they have to incorporate in their story. Okay, so...
Object permanence.
Object permanence.
Person.
What's that? Cocaine! I like convergence. The Red Baron. Red Beret.
Baron.
The Red Baron. Okay. So we have.
Object permanence.
Let's take a vote on it. Object permanence. Cocaine. I was hoping to win some points. Well, the Red Baron. Cocaine it is.
Now it's a party.
So, the theme of your story is Uncle Sam's day off.
I love how you just all said it.
And you have to incorporate within it the word cocaine. On the 4th of July.
God bless America.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, your 5 minutes begins now. Okay, well, I have a few questions left, and rather than just sit here in complete silence, let's have the final quiz, and maybe we'll have some sort of a prize at the end. I can't teach you, but let's just do this for fun. Okay, so our first question. Which TV series was based on the novel Cyborg by Martin Katie?
$6 million man.
$6 million man. Yeah, it was either this team or this team. I'm going to give it to this team. So Team Alpha. Team Alpha, thank you. Okay. Name the robot.
Bender.
Wouldn't it be impressive if you had? And if you had, what are the odds that I would change the rest of the question? Name the robot.
B9.
In Forbidden Planet.
Robbie.
Team B. Okay, this is the closest round we've had so far. What is the name of Mr. Spock's father?
Sorry.
Team B. Taking the lead now. Only by 1 point. Still very, very close. Okay, if you don't get this, you may as well go home. Under what name was Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Team 1. Blade Runner. All hail Mark II.
All hell no to
Name Mark II's friendlier sister.
Connie.
Team B. You were loudest. They were first. Okay, where are we going? I have some more here somewhere. Okay, I love this question. In the Batman TV series, Robin often says, "Holy!" something, to indicate his surprise or frustration. Every one of his holy phrases have been repeated on the series, except one.
Holy Olio.
Not holy mackerel.
Yardstick.
No.
Is it? Oh, that's no good, mate.
No, it's not. You're
No, you're on our team.
If you do get this, I will give
Holy dental hygiene.
No.
Holy rusted metal.
This is one that you either know or don't know.
Can I have a go?
You can have a go.
Is it Holy Collection of Etruscan Snooze?
The almost wholly priceless collection of Etruscan snooze.
Nerd.
So we have a point to Paul. Actually, Paul isn't far behind Team Alpha. You have 30 seconds left, everyone. I think we'll just have one more question then.
Lightning round.
In the TV series Arrow, what is Oliver Queen's sister nickname? Speedy. Speedy. I'm going to give that to Team B. And you have 8 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 2. Okay. Right, well, before we listen to the stories, let's have a look at the scores for that. So we have in 4th place, Paul Connell. In joint 2nd place, Team Alpha and Team 1. With 2 points each. With 5 points, Team B. Your prize will be the satisfaction of a job well done.
What's the monetary value on that?
0.0001 cents. So not transferable.
So also known as more than like Zimbabwe dollars.
Yeah, it's about what you get if somebody read a page of your book on Amazon. Okay, so we're in our final round, and the theme was Uncle Sam's Day Off, and you must incorporate the word cocaine. And this time, thank you.
I'd like a point.
Okay, sorry. Little notes, please. I'm just so excited.
He's had to listen to this shit for almost an hour.
Does even the word cocaine give you a nosebleed?
It's muscle memory.
What muscle is that?
Okay, we're going to start. I think we haven't started with you, Kelly, yet, have we? So we're going to start with Mr. Kelly McCullum.
All right. Cocaine, Uncle Sam's favorite firework. There was nothing that the dirty old man liked to do more on the 4th than kick back with his feet up on South America and snort a line that lit his head up like the bombs he exported on his days along.
Uncle Sam tied off his arm with the rubber tubing. The cocaine was wearing off, and it was time that he came down. And if he was going to come down, he was going to come down hard. Uncle Sam didn't do anything small. This is going to be one hell of a weekend. Fireworks were going to look so beautiful. And the barbecue would never taste better if you could eat any. He hadn't eaten in a week. I didn't care. He'd stand to lose a few pounds anyway.
Melissa.
Yeah. The day the Marines decided to quit, they were high off their gourds. They'd been up all night complaining about their orders and the shit weather. Oh, the bad weather.
He said rated R. In PG-13, you're allowed 3 uses of the word shit. That was my second.
Okay. Complaining about their orders and the bad weather, but when Robbie brought out the Coke, it suddenly seemed like a great idea. Unfortunately, the Coke was not Coke. It had much in common with Coke in so many ways, except for the small but rather significant side effect of causing each Marine to grow gills.
Point forward, did we actually have the word cocaine? Was it Coke? I don't. Paul Cornell!
They'd invited him to come and represent Colombia, and though he didn't feel able to do it on a regular basis, he went along on his day off. He tried to be steadfast and determined, but he quickly realised they were laughing at him, all the cocaine barons and their lackeys. He realised an even more awful truth when he tried to go home. It had been a trap. He couldn't leave. They'd sent an imposter in his place.
Uncle Sam scratched an armpit, rolled out of bed, and made his way to the bathroom. He looked at his bloodshot eyes in the mirror, underlined with bags, red and blue indeed. But there was something. He leaned closer and dusted his beard. Was that cocaine? Well, there's the white. He pulled a rumpled t-shirt over his gut and stumbled into the living room. Iran was passed out on the couch. Britain was frying up some eggs. That guy knew how to hold his liquor. He looked at the clock and remembered it was his day off. Thank goodness for that much. But his phone was buzzing. It was China. Looked like China wanted a party.
This will be the last round of scoring. Consider your options well. Gary Patel. I think that places you in the lead in this round so far. Cargill. Paul Cornell. Kelly McCullough. And Minister Olson. I think there was absolutely no doubt there that Kelly won the 2 points. And I think it's a two-way tie for second place, so we'll do them again. Gary Patel. Cargill. I think that was Carrie, just about. Okay. Well, not our very expensive computer adds up the scores. I will sing you a song. So, in 5th place, with almost 1 point, Melissa Olson! In 4th place, with 2 points, Cargill! So close to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. But we have a tie for 2nd place. Mr. Paul Cornell and Mr. Kelly McCullough. Which leaves Gary Patel as the winner with 4 points. Thank you so much for coming to see this travesty of a show. And thank you also especially to our 4 fantastic writers, Gary Patel, C. Robert Cargill, Paul Cornell, Kelly McCullough, and